Hey everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I came on to say hello and check in with everybody. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers, all the new people that have came on. I thank y'all so much. Y'all have been showing me so much love and it has encouraged me to continue to, just do what I do, share my life. It has continued to encourage me to think to share my life. So what I wanted to talk about today is my journey to becoming a cleaning business entrepreneur, or how it all started. So I want to start by saying subscribe, like, share, and keep engaging with me, guys. I love it when y'all talk back to me. I love when you are just showing love, whatever way that may look like for you. So basically, now where I'm at, I'm going to share you my journey to how I got to where I'm at now. So I was a young girl, a lot younger than I am now, and I was desperate for a job. And so I was looking for jobs, and I filled out for this cleaning job at a hotel as a house cleaner, as a housekeeper. And so I did that, and I actually liked it. So after I did that, I started filling out for jobs more and more, doing cleaning jobs. And I found that it was very therapeutic, and it was very relaxing and calming for me. And so I think back as to how when my mom would come to the schools when I was a little girl, like in the second grade. And one of the one things that my teacher had told my mom was that, oh, I just love Misty. Out of all of my students in the class, she's the only one that keeps her desk neat, her books neat. She don't have balled up trash or anything around her desk. She just keep her little desk so neat and clean. And I was so inspired by that. And it made me feel like, you know what? This has always been in me from a little girl all the way up until now. And my mom was a stickler. She was one of them moms that you gonna clean. We washed walls. We pulled them cushions out and cleaned all up under the cushions, pushed the furniture back. My mom would change her furniture around like a person changed their underwear. Our house, we go to school, the house would look one way, we come back home, it's look a different way, almost like a different house each time we came back. So my mom, I guess I got it from her. I don't know, but I just know that I love to clean. And it has been a journey doing it as a cleaning business entrepreneur. So back to that, loving to clean. I relocated from Michigan to North Carolina. So I do currently reside in North Carolina. Woo woo to the Carolinians. Show some love if you're in the Carolinas, whether it's South Carolina or North Carolina. We are good people. We have lots of good Southern hospitality, and we are good people. But anyway, yes, I relocated to North Carolina from Michigan, and I ended up getting a job as a deep clean supervisor for a high-end retirement community. And man, when I tell you I love this job so much that I said, I'm going to retire. This is it. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. I love this job. I loved it so much that I followed all the rules. I did everything that I was supposed to do on that job. I would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I would fix my breakfast, and I would pack my breakfast in a lunch bag. I would drive. My job was like 45 minutes away from where I currently live. It was a 45-minute commute there and back. So I would get up, do the 45-minute commute. I would arrive at the job at 5 p.m., which is 5 a.m., 5 a.m., which is the earliest you could get in the doors because it was a retirement community. So they kept kind of high security around there. So I would go in, and this is what I would do. I would find me a safe, secure spot. I would put all my stuff down, my breakfast, my coat, bag, whatever I had, my personal belongings. And I would literally walk the floors. It was like 3 floors of residence. And I would walk the floors for at least 25, 30 minutes before I, come back down. And I would warm my breakfast up. I would sit down, eat my breakfast. And usually what I would have is like a boiled egg and some oatmeal every morning. I know some people say they can't eat the same foods over and over again, but I was living on a budget. So I had to do what I had to do to keep from purchasing food. So I would make my own food and I ate the same thing every morning. And it worked for me. So I would reheat the food up. I would enjoy my food. And then after I get done eating, I would watch an inspirational video on YouTube. YouTube in the house. Yes. I would watch YouTube while I'm sitting there waiting, or either I would listen to inspirational music because the day would be so crazy sometimes. Sometimes you would come in there, if people called out and you had a schedule, or if somebody on your schedule did a cancellation or they didn't want cleaning service for that day, whoever called out and wasn't working, you would end up doing their shift, their work, because to fill in for the cancellation that you might have had for that day. And I would hate that because they had different areas in the retirement community that a lot of people didn't want to go in. And most of the time it would be the pavilion where the sicker people were at. It was like a hospital inside of the retirement community. And that was the area that nobody really wanted to go in because just sick people, you smell fresh poop all day long, fresh urine, just an area you don't want to be in. So I would have to get my mind prepared for whatever the day is going to be. Am I going to do my regular schedule work, or am I going to do some of my work and do somebody else's and go back to mine? It wasn't the same every day. And so I would get myself prepared for that. And after I get myself prepared with watching a YouTube video, inspire somebody's sermon or something inspirational, or either some music, it would be getting closer time to clock in. So I would walk towards the time clock to get myself ready to clock in, get myself situated and ready to do my work for the day. And this is what I did for like 5 years. I did that same repeated routine every morning until I started training. Now, mind you, training was a weakness of mine. I did not like to train people because it just was a weakness of mine. And so my supervisor at the time was telling me that my boss was watching me. He was like, I don't know what you did or what you got going on, but I'm letting you know now, our boss is watching you like a hawk. And I said, okay. Okay, it is what it is. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which I did. I was always at work on time. I followed the rules. I did what I was told. So I was training somebody, and I had to train this person in somebody else's area. And so I don't know what happened in between me going to that woman's house and training the person that I was training, but she told them something and it was fabricated. Mind you, I've been on this job for 5 years, never got in trouble, no write-ups, no nothing. Just I had a clean bill. I never had any issues on that job. But that particular day that I trained somebody, it went left. And it was so crazy because the girl that I trained was saying the same thing. She was like, I don't know what was up with that place that we just cleaned, but I felt something leery and eerie and that something just didn't feel right. We both was feeling the same thing. I didn't know what I was feeling. She didn't know what she was feeling because she was one of those types of residents that you couldn't bring cleaning supplies and stuff in her house because she was allergic to a lot of cleaners, a lot of different types of cleaners. So we had to use what she had. And so being that we had to use her stuff, it was very limited. It was almost like we had to clean her whole entire house with basically no, baby wipes. If I'm not mistaken, some kind of disinfectant wipes or something like that we had to use to clean her house with. And it was hard cleaning like that because when you don't have those familiar cleaners that you're used to using, that can be hard. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just didn't. So I told her that it's going to be hard for us to clean a place like this. But if this is what you want, this is what we'll do. So we used what she provided us with. And she was telling us that the girl before us she was explaining how the girl that usually do her cleaning would do it. And I don't clean like everybody else. And I wasn't training the girl that was with me to clean like the person that was there. I trained her to clean like me, but whatever her finished results would be, because you want the house to be clean, however it is done, whether you do it up, down, side to side, front to back, back to front, whatever the case may be, as long as the end results is the house is clean. So that woman didn't like that. She didn't like that. So next thing I know, she went and reported it. She did a report on me. They did a background check. They did everything to try to get down to it because they had to make sure they was taking sides. They heard both sides. My side, but the one thing that I noticed that they didn't do, they didn't ask the girl that was being trained. Because had they asked her, they would have got down to the bottom of it because she was in between me and the residential client. So long story short, they fired me. And when I tell you I was so upset because I didn't have a backup plan. Remember, I said this was my dream job. I wanted to retire. I was making what I felt like I deserved to make. I was promoted. I was happy. But I had no backup plan. So when they fired me, I drove all the way home in tears. I just cried like a baby. And I was so upset with the one person that I should have been upset with, and that was God. I said, why in the world would you allow me to lose my job when I don't have no backup plan? I don't have friends and family that I can go to go live with if my mortgage get backed up or my bills get, my lights and stuff, everything gets backed up and behind. I don't have nobody I can go and borrow no money from or even go live with. And I fussed and fussed. I cried. I was one of the most angriest people you could ever deal with at the time. I just was angry. Next thing I knew after that, I said, I got to get on it because I don't want no lapse in my pay and all this stuff. I wanted to make sure that I can still pay all my bills in the process of me losing my job, getting fired for basically no reason. And it was no reason because it was a setup from God. This was God's plan and purpose for my life. But that's when I tell you, that is not good when you going through. It is not good when you going through, but it was a setup for my good. When you hear me, when I tell you it was a setup for my good, it was a setup for my good. But I didn't see that at the time. And it seemed like all hell was breaking loose. The week that I got fired, I was invited to go and minister at someone's church. I had utilization of their platform to speak about fear, I think it was. And then I went and did this, the ministering that I had to do. And then that same day, it was a snake in my house. It was a snake in my house. On top of the snake being in my house, my HVAC unit went out. No heat, no air. I'm in my house with no heat or air in it, and we in the middle of winter. When I tell you all hell broke, I lost my job, my HVAC unit went out, and it was a snake in the house. When the enemy comes in, he comes in like a flood. But God had all my plans. He had already laid out the plan, the blueprint for me and where I am today. And so after that, I got on my P's and Q's and I started going out to all these different places, applying for jobs. And I wanted to stay in the cleaning industry because I know it so well. And that is what I love to do and what I like to do. So mind you, I'm going to all these different places, applying for jobs, and nobody was hiring me. I wasn't getting no calls. It just was crazy. It was crazy. I could not believe how I was applying for something that I knew so familiar of, but I wasn't getting any callbacks. Even temp services, I'm going to try to get something temporarily, just anything to keep me from lapsing in being able to keep my mortgage current, my bills current, food on the table, whatever I had or needed to do. Well, needless to say, I had a lady from my church that was an entrepreneur. And she told me, we had spoke years back. I had told her that I was kind of interested in starting a cleaning business, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. And she said, I got you. If you really serious about it, and when you really ready to start the cleaning business, let me know and I will help you as much as I can. And when I tell you she helped me, everything was just lining up so perfectly and so beautifully. I mean, he placed her in my life. She helped me get my logo. She helped me get all of my paperwork and stuff that I needed to, like the LLC paperwork. You have to check and see if the business name that you've chosen is not being used by somebody else. So you had to make sure that. I had to find out what fees I needed to pay to get it started up and registered through the Secretary of State. I had to get business insurance. I had to get a business bank account. I had to get a business email. I had to get a business phone line. There was a lot that went into this. I had to create service agreements. I had to get a mission statement, a vision statement. There was a lot of stuff that I was not familiar with. And when I tell you I was scared out of my mind, I was so scared. But God. Oh, Lord, I just thank God for what he done for me, because I grew up poor. If you don't remember the video that I posted about growing up poor, you can go back and kind of look at that and kind of see where I came from. And out of 8 kids, I'm the only one out of 8 children that actually has a home that I'm purchasing, that is an entrepreneur. And that is a big, big thing for me. That is a big thing for me. So I thank God for where he has brought me from. I have been through a whole lot in my life, but I tell you, if you are a woman that has the heart after God, he will look after you. He will take care of you. I've been through abuse. I've been abused in every way that a person can be abused. But I'm still here and I'm happy. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. And when I tell you, I would never work for another person ever again, because the freedom of having my own business is a blessing. I'm doing something for myself. I'm doing something that nobody in my family has ever done and probably won't do. I don't know. All I know that I'm here. I'm happy. I feel blessed, more than blessed. Oh my God. And I sow seeds wherever I can because I have a heart of a servant to serve. And I have no problem with serving. I will do whatever I need to do, and the Lord knew that. That is the reason why he placed this business in my hands, because he knew I could do it. When I started, I tell you, I was scared, but I did it afraid. Just like with this YouTube channel, I didn't know what to do. I still don't. I'm still learning my way every day, but I'm doing it. And I know that he's happy with me because the feedback that I've gotten, even though it's not a whole lot of feedback, it's reaching, my content is reaching who it needs to be reached. Who needs to hear what I have to say. And I'm telling you, if you are a woman after God's heart, and you don't even have to be a woman after God's heart, whatever God you serve, whatever God you look up to, depend on for safety, for protection, for leadership, for guiding, whatever it is that you are looking for. Trust me, if I can do this, you can do it, but you just got to have a heart to want to do it. You got to not give up no matter what. I've had so many ups and downs in this business, but almost 5 years, and I'm in a small town where there's a lot of competition here. But God has led all of the clients to me. And when one leave, it's always somebody that'll come back that pays me more than what that other one paid. And it just lets me know that he has his hands on me. Oh God, he has his hands on me. And I do whatever I can to make him happy, because this was a business that he birthed out of me, and he gave me the name. The name of my business is Anointed Hands Cleaning Services, LLC. And it's Anointed Hands, I believe, because when I start working, when I come into your home and I start cleaning it, that home is no longer yours. It's my home. I go in and I clean like it's my house. And when you clean it for yourself, you're not going to do no lazy, sloppy, halfway done job. You're going to do it the way you want it done because you live there. That is your space. That is the space that you have for you. And so if you won't do sloppy for yourself, then you're not going to do it for nobody else. And that's the way my mindset is when it comes to cleaning and being a servant to others. And that's just me. And even if being a servant is just interceding for people, I have no problem with praying for somebody, standing in the gap to pray for a person. But I thank God for where he brought me. I'm in a place that none of my siblings are. None of them are in this place where I'm at. It's 8 of us. And out of 8 of us, I promise you, I'm not making this up. Only 2 of us have a place in our name. My other siblings do not even have a place of their own. They're living with somebody. I don't care who it is. They don't have a place in their own name out of 8 of us. And so I thank God that I'm the only one that has a mortgage. The rest of them don't. I have one sister that's renting, and that's in her name, and that's a blessing because there's so many people that are out here looking for a secure place to live, and they just don't have it. I don't know what is going on in this world right now as far as people, wanting to work. That's a challenge that I have in my business where people don't want to work. Like, I may get somebody to come on and help me, but they don't stay. And it's like, man, God placed this in my hands for me to do it. So I have to put my hands to the plow and I do it. I just don't take on more than I can handle. I do what I can handle and I keep moving. I'm going to continue to keep moving because I have no choice. When God called you to do something, and you know what they say is that he don't call the equipped. He equips the called. You're not going to have it all together. That's the one, you're the one he wants. You're the one that he wants, and I'm a living testimony of that. You're the one that he wants. The one that don't have it all together. The one that everybody look at and point the finger at and say that you can't do it. You're not qualified for this. But when God calls you and qualifies you, it don't matter what nobody else says. It doesn't matter what nobody else says. You hear me? Nobody else says. So whatever it is that you have within you that you want to start, a bakery, cooking business, I don't know, whatever it may be, whatever is inside of you, so whatever's you are passionate about, go for it. At least, I'll tell you this. Step out on faith and do it. And if it don't work, at least you can say you did try. But I believe that if God has your back, he's going to make sure. He's going to make sure that them clients come. Whatever, if it's an online business, I don't care what it is. if that's something that you're passionate about, it is just in you and it won't leave you. It won't leave you alone. Go for it. Start your own business and do something good for yourself that you can say you are proud of. If nobody else pats you on the back, pat your own self on the back and be thankful, because sometimes we have to encourage ourselves. We have to encourage ourselves. We can't depend on and rely on somebody else to do that for us, because it just sometimes is not there. It's just not there. And your own family are the ones that turn their back on you and don't have your back. Complete strangers has helped me out. A lot of the things that I've accomplished is from other people believing in me and having my back and saying, I know you can do this. I got you, whatever you need. And I promise you. And they are still in my life to this day. That woman that helped me. But it ain't even about that. I have stepped out on faith and I've done it and I'm doing it. And I will not let my Heavenly Father down. And I know that if you step out on faith and you do it, you can do it too. And then another thing is, when I was doing all the looking for jobs and stuff like that, I went to my pastors and I had them pray for me because I just wanted prayer. I didn't know what to do. I had no backup plan, mortgage bills, I had a car payment at the time. I had stuff going on that I wasn't in a position. I'm a single woman. I'm not married. My children are grown. And so at the end of the day, I didn't have a husband to fall back on his income or fall back and just take my time with getting things going. I'm a get it done type of person. And I didn't want no lapse in my bills, my mortgage, none of that. So I asked my pastors to pray for me. Excuse me, y'all. And my pastor came to me and he said, you know what? We need actually a cleaner here at the church. And he said, I didn't know if you were interested in it, but if you are, you are welcome to the job. And I was like, oh my God. And of course I took it. I ain't have no other choice. I had nothing to fall back on. So I took that and I cleaned for my church for almost 3 years. And that's when everything just started getting too overwhelming, where my business was picking up and it was doing great. So I had to, give it to pass the torch on to somebody else to start cleaning the church for my pastors. But I thank them so much for that. And that was my fallback. And two, I ended up filing for unemployment, and the unemployment agency did a background check. They have to do an investigation, not a background check, an investigation on the situation to find out what took place. And they found that my job was in the wrong, and I ended up drawing unemployment. And this was in the middle of pandemic where everything was haywire. The pandemic had happened. And so I was getting that extra money. So I filed for unemployment, got approved, and I was getting way more money than I was getting when I was working. I was getting way more money than I was when I was working, and I could not believe it. And I knew then God was showing me, I got you. I got you. And I was so angry with him. And when I tell you I was angry, I was angry. I didn't know what to do, where to go, how to shake things off, but he showed me. My child, I got you. And I'm living proof, guys, that if he did, I ain't no different from you. Okay, I'm just a regular, average person just like you. And if he did it for me, he will do it for you. And that, my friends, is what I want to share with y'all today. My journey to entrepreneurship. I love how I can set my own prices, my own hours. I don't have to work long hours in a day. I can work a few hours and I can make what people make within 12 hours. Okay? Your girl is good. Your girl is good. But like around this time of the year, things slow up. Because a cleaning business is a luxury. This is not something that people need. I think it's just something that people, if they have the money to be able to do it, they'd rather pay somebody to do it where they don't have to do it. And I don't mind doing it because I love it. You give me my cleaning supplies, my favorite stuff that I love. I have certain things that I just have to have. I have a cleaning solution that I make up that I use. It's non-toxic and everybody loves it. They always say, "Oh, it smells so good in here and it looks so good." And I just thank God for all of my clients and everybody that has stuck with me throughout this whole entire journey. And y'all coming along, and I'm, letting y'all know where I'm at and where I came from. And I don't mind sharing this because I know somebody can benefit from my testimony of what I have been through and where I've came from and how I got to where I am today. Don't get me wrong. It gets slow and there's ups and downs to entrepreneurship, but I tell you what, I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to go back. Now, if I have to, I will, because I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure my household is running and operating and not lacking anything. I'm not going to be stupid. But right now, I'm doing that. And I ain't even shared with y'all this. I am a financial coach as well. The name of my financial coaching business is Masterpiece Financial Coaching. I am so good with numbers, and I'm good with my finances and stuff like that. I always have, and that stems back to my upbringing, how I was brought up poor, you know, going without and stuff like that. I promised myself I would never do that. I would never allow my children to go through nothing like that either. So, guys, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed my testimony, and I pray that you can benefit from this. So if you don't mind, if you want to share this with somebody that you think that can benefit from what I'm saying on a journey to entrepreneurship, share it. Like my content and definitely subscribe. And I just want to say also that God loves you and so do I. God loves you and so do I. I don't know you. You don't know me. You getting to know me. You getting to know me. I hope you stick around and see what all I have to offer here at Divine Chosen One's life. But I want y'all to have the most amazing day and know that when a person shows you who they are, believe them. And with that being said, I will see you soon. Stay tuned.